Hey guys, this is going to be like a really basic tutorial which some of you might already know, so I apologize if you hope for something a little bit more meaty. But I guess it's good to go over and just sort of revise anyway. I'm going to explain basically color spaces, what values are, how your channels work, all that kind of stuff. So if you don't know already, on your layers panel usually you can go over to channels and you can see there's red, green and blue channels which you can actually look at separately. Okay, these are buckets full of values pretty much in 8-bit. So these are a grayscale image, which is this channel is how much red there is in the image, this is how much green there is, and this is how much blue there is, and they combine together to make a full picture of RGB. To demonstrate really quick, I'm going to grab 100% red, which is as red as it can possibly get, which is 255. 255 is the max value of any RG or B. So I've got nothing in green, nothing in blue. This is 100% red as it gets. So just drawing a little squiggly line. And as you can see, in your red channel, this is completely white because it's 100% red, 255 value red. And then in green, there's absolutely nothing. In blue, there's absolutely nothing because it is composed of absolutely no green and absolutely no blue. That feature is only red. Okay. So we'll go a green, 0 red, 255 green, 0 blue, right? Check in your color picker if you're curious about this stuff for any reason. We've got some green, scribble over the top, right? So now your red is being erased by that green. The green has a 255 value there, and blue still has old nothing because blue is neglected. Anyway, in between values, right? We can pick an orange, say. It's a pretty strong orange, and we can start painting with this orange in here. And as you can probably, hopefully guess by now, it's got it mostly red and a little bit of green, makes up orange, right? Not very much green, mostly red. Okay, no blue. So that's our orange. Same thing with if we go for a sort of aqua greeny kind of color. We got nothing in the red channel from that, bit in the blue, and a bit in the green, and finally something in the blue. Blue has received some love. Okay, so that's pretty much how your basic image works. These just combine to make a visual color, and it's pretty much how they work in the real world. You combine red, green, and blue light. That's pretty well documented to make different frequencies of light, right? Sometimes you will use RG and B for different things. One of these examples is a normal map, which I'll do a separate tutorial on. Another thing to really have a look at is your hue and saturation, right? This is a different color space to RGB. RGB is one color space, red, green, blue. This is another color space, hue, saturation, and lightness. But usually they call it HSV, hue, saturation, value. Photoshop just calls it lightness. I'm not sure why. Lightness is, as you can probably imagine, that's just how intense the color is. Sometimes they call it intensity. It's another thing. Saturation is how saturated it is. I can't really show that too well because it's already super saturated. But you can basically go to the extreme, like absolutely vivid color, although then you can ramp it back to basically black and white. That's what saturation is. It's how, the saturation of a color is literally just like how vivid it is and how strongly colored it is. Okay, so your hue, that will actually shift everything, right? It won't change the saturation or the lightness, but it will change where it is positioned on this color spectrum, right? And you can see it scrolling along the bottom. It basically remaps the color spectrum for you. This is super useful. Always have a look at this if you can't get some colors to match, especially on if you're having a look at your character's face photos and matching it to the color you've used to the skin, for example. You can change some hues and some saturation to mess with that. This is another color space. RGB is the one that all games use. HSV, just use it for the editing. Okay, you can make images in an HSV color space, but we don't use them. Another one is levels to look at. Levels is really cool. You can basically this is a little graph. It's called a histogram of all where all your levels are. So like we've got mostly black, so everything down the bottom here, right? That's a lot of black in the image. Here we've got some midtones, which is probably the orange and this aqua, and then we've got extreme colors right at the top end, which is probably this blue, this green and this red. So you can basically warp that scale and how it works, right? ooh, that's not completely black. So when I actually scale it right down, it's going into like a yellow because it's not 100% black in the background. But yeah, you can. I'm scaling this all the way up, and it's basically because there's more red in that orange. It's scaling it towards red rather than towards blue. You can do the same thing here. You can basically clamp the maximum, minimum intensities. Levels editing is super useful. I would say I can't really do a comprehensive course on how to use this. It will come up all the time though. You should definitely experiment with it all the time until you figure out what uses you can apply it to. There's so many, it's just I can't even list them. So hopefully that's enough to get you started in how color sort of works in images. I will do supplementary tutorials on this if I get questions about it. So now I'll go on to some other stuff, and I hope that was somewhat informative. Later.